To anyone that's not familiar with a brand of clamshell motorcycle trailer that holds two motorcycles and made back in the late 90s to the early 2000 period, there was a company called Quad Graphics, and they made this clamshell trailer called the Luxe Ryder. This is designed for two motorcycles. Nice feature is, if you're a Harley guy, look at the fender right there. And the taillight, Sportster, if you don't mind. This clamshell is about 22 inches from there, well, actually 24 because the floor is inside here. 24 to there. And from there to the top of the dome, or the inside, that's probably another 3 feet or so. But the overall inside height of this, with the lid raised, the doorway entrance is 68 inches. But with the lid raised, you've got inside about 76 inches of standing height. It is 72 inches wide on the inside by the floor by 10 foot up to the nose of the trailer. That is radiused, if you see here. But anyway, this is a clamshell trailer. In particular, a 2003 Luxe Ryder trailer. This has got a stainless steel tube over a 3-inch square tube that provides the support, for the trailer, which is a heavy-duty frame, steel frame, but it supports that to the inside, front, let's say 1.5 or 2 feet. So that's what it projects into there. This has got a hidden jack. Originally, it was a hydraulic reservoir with a hydraulic cylinder. To replace it's about $2,000. Not easy to mount a tongue jack to that. Tube, stainless steel again, especially with modern stuff, because they're not capable of going around a 6-inch diameter. But the jack for this, the hydraulic jack, and what I've replaced it with is inside. This is run off a 12-volt battery. That same battery operates an air compressor right about this area right here. There's a tank and lines that feed back to 2 Firestone airbags over the differential, giving it a vertical up and down lift so that you can lower this. There is a dump valve for the air system, so that trailer actually lowers only about 6 inches off the ground. I mean, before you drop the tailgate, it's about 6 inches. And so it's a very slight incline to roll your motorcycle or other device, lawnmower, into this. Decent condition. Now, how this operates, if I can open this door, it's got a latch. Unlike one of its later year competitors, Iron Horse. That is a wide body trailer. Capable of 2 bikes or a bike with a sidecar. This one is a little tight. You can fit a vintage bike with a sidecar in here, depending on the width. But again, it's 72 inches. So the locking mechanism on this is a lift latch compared to Iron Horse and Excalibur, that before it just used a 90-degree rotate on a knob. That actually the locking mechanism went sideways in here. Well, if you notice on the Iron Horse, that sideways goes through this wall. It's one continuous wall up to the top of the roof. Luxe Ryder, the lower shell was right to there. And so you can reach in and get to things. But the locking mechanism, if you notice this latch, is right through here, locking this lid in place. That one doesn't have that feature. Not until around 2017, I suggested that they use rubber tie downs, or something to secure the lid so that it doesn't pop up, because there is a trough that rides into and it drops down. But any smart person can actually break into that if those an older Iron Horse trailer. I've had 3 of them. I've had the single, double wide body before this one. And this is the second one. I just picked this up because I've got the bike with the sidecar. And this is just a little bit too tight for it. But anyway, if you lift up on the latch, and it's extremely heavy, see if I can do this one-handed. It's pretty stout. One hand down. Prior owner put a ramp Not only that, but back in the day, Luxe Ryder, so that you wouldn't have to ride over this trough, and another hinge panel. To operate the lid, just lift up on it. 2 air shocks, easily support. This is a heavy lid, folks. Prior owner had put a vent up in the top in front of this, the wing that's up in here, or the airfoil. So that actually has air that can come through here when you're driving down the road, give air conditioning. Pretty smart. Here, that's the air compressor kicking in for this. This has been sitting idle for a while. But again, this is in the raised position right now. But if I shut off the compressor and hit the, you notice the trailer going down to the ground. See that, how that ramps starts to level out. Pretty nice. Because of the air tank, if you shut the dump valve off, this will temporarily spring back up into place. Maybe not at the height that you want it at, but the air compressor, you can always kick that in again and raise it up higher. So, walking in from there to here, I'm 6 foot tall with boots 6'1", but this isn't too bad. This is 68 inches from that lip down to the floor entrance. Inside here in the dome, that is 76 inches, I believe, down to about 74 inches right here. That's 6'2", or roughly, accommodate a guy like my size. I left the panel off at the front to show you. This has got 1 condor chock. Spare tire. This is where the 12-volt battery is at, preferably a deep cell. This is electric jack I just put in here. This is an iron tin jack from Northern Tool. I modified to fit this to replace a hydraulic cylinder. That is the air compressor. When the lid goes into place in the front, I'm just going to rest it up here for the moment. There are 4 T-handle knobs, quarter 20 NPT, I believe, but that will secure this front piece in the front. See, spare tire. This is a Luxe Ryder trailer. It's got a cubby hole up in the front there, another one back here, and there. This, because of the addition of the iron tin jack, I put an additional switch right here. So this goes directly to the battery and then to the pump, or the motor, you know, the jack motor. This is the on-off valve for the air compressor. This is the dump valve. This is an extra fitting, air fitting actually, because it utilizes, for example, if you have one, but this goes with the trailer, a expandable hose for filling your inner tube, your tire on your motorcycle, lawnmower, or even on the trailer. You can do that in a pinch because of the 12-volt compressor. So you got a cubby hole back in here. This has 2 locks, well, actually pins. Pre-drill the hole in here, so you can put this clip in here if you want to keep the lid. If you're replacing a shock, or if you're afraid it's going to drop on you while you're inside. Same on the other side. Another little clip hole where it can go into place. These air shocks are doing extremely well. Again, this has got a condor chock. Throwing in these 3 tie-down straps. This is the, not that you'd ever use it, you have to modify it, but if the iron tin jack, tongue jack was outside, and you came into buying the motor was bound up or whatever, that was the wrench for it. That goes with the trailer. So anyway, with primary features, this is a clamshell trailer, but if you think about it, when you're standing outside, especially when it's lower to the ground, a average height person can reach in all the way up to the front here. Now, if you look at an Iron Horse, they had a beak nose front on their single and double bike. I had one. But that hinge on that trailer was weak. I'm talking the Iron Horse trailer. And this whole lid would shift down towards the front. I'm not sure if other Iron Horse owners had problems with that, single or the double wide. but it shifted forward. I was running down to Daytona, pulling into a gas station, and ran around to look at the load in the back, found that the lid on the double wide iron horse trailer had, with bouncing over a rut or something, it had twisted and fell down at an angle, or just twisted the back end. The back end twisted and it dropped between the two sidewalls. And again, because it doesn't have a locking positive locking mechanism, not compared to this Luxe Ryder. So it's well ahead of its time. Anyway, that is it sort of in a nutshell, because there is differences between this. The tongue weight is heavy. You have to make sure that your bike is balanced. Even with replacing the jack, it's a heavy tongue trailer. So you need to be at least 17 inches off the ground to keep this level. Right there. The jack is up underneath. There you'll see, if you look up underneath here, that should be the removable foot, for the jack. But if you watch what I'm going to be doing here, go slow, but it does go up. You want to make sure that that is above these skid plates on both sides. You need to make, because otherwise you can snag that. That's how the hydraulic cylinder got hung up, got bent. So you need to make sure that, for one, if you're loading this or if you're just storing it, that you have it level. You can always put a block underneath it, just like that, to speed up your time. But anyway, I'm done with this. But this, compared to the Iron Horse trailers, nice trailer, granted, light tongue weight and so on, spacious. But as far as fuel efficiency, recent trip that I had in my motorhome, I was only getting 10.5 miles to the gallon pulling the Iron Horse trailer. This I can get 11.5 to 12, comparatively speaking. So that means behind a truck or car, it's going to be doing the same thing. It's a decent motorcycle trailer, ahead of its time, called the Clam-Shell trailer. This was the Luxe Ryder style, made by a company called Quad Graphics, and Bob was the guy's name back in the day. So anyway, good luck. Have a great day. Talk later. Bye.